my story, Chasing Rainbows. Chapter 4. Harsh Reality. That was how it began. All through the spring and into the summer, they stole away whenever they could. They would take the pony and trap deep into the countryside. When they found a quiet spot in the woods, they would fall into each other's arms, their passions mounting as their lips entwined. For a brief while, they forgot they came from different worlds, but of course it could not last. Things began to change one sultry evening in early August. They had been strolling together through the woods when he stooped to kiss her eager lips. Before long, they were lying together amongst the soft bracken, embracing with mounting passion. He gently removed her blouse, caressing her softly yielding flesh, his mouth teasing the soft curves of her breast. He whispered her name against the sweetness of her silky hair. Jess moaned gently as his body rhythmically entwined with hers. Passions mounting, they threw cautions to the winds, forgetting everything in their overwhelming joy. Later, they lay in each other's arms and closed their eyes for a few moments. Then Joseph raised himself up, leaning upon his elbow, and gently nudged her. She opened her beautiful brown eyes and gazed upon him. His eyes were full of love as he bent to kiss her moist lips. "Yes, my love, I must tell you something," he said, hesitation in his voice. "Oh, what is it, love?" she murmured. He pulled her close. "My father has made arrangements for me to go to Liverpool. I'm to go at the weekend." He pressed his cheek against hers. Jess pushed him away gently and dimpled with relief. "Is that all? You had me worried for a moment. I thought you had grown weary of me." He cradled her in his arms, rocking her gently. "No, my love, never think that of me. You are the breath in my body, the sunshine in my heart. When we are apart, I cannot stop thinking of you. The glow in your eyes when you run to meet me, the blush upon your cheeks when I kissed your lips." She touched his face gently, her eyes pools of liquid fire. "Then what is it?" she pressed him. "My father is sending me to manage the textile mill in Great Harwood," he said plainly. "I tried to argue against it, told him I was of more use here, but he would have none of it. It seems the odds are stacked against us, sweetheart. I have no option. The manager is retiring, and father has plans for the business to expand. We have to make changes and prepare for the future. I'm to get things organized up there." Joseph pulled her gently to her feet. "If you are prepared to wait a while, I promise to send for you," he said sincerely. Jess threw her arms around his neck and pulled him close. "Of course I will wait for you, Joseph." She felt tears spring to her eyes. "But what about your father? He knows nothing of us. I'm not of your class. How will he ever accept me?" She wept in despair. She could almost feel him slipping away from her already. Joseph cradled her against his chest, his arms encircling her slender shoulders. "I will find a way, sweetheart. Never fear. Once I take on the responsibility of the mill at Great Harwood, I'll find somewhere acceptable to live. Trust me, I will send for you. Leave father to me. He's not such an ogre as you imagine." He teased her gently. "I'm not so sure about that," she replied wistfully, a small frown creasing her brow. He hugged her close, kissed her with great tenderness, tried to reassure her, with sweet endearments as dusk began to gather around them. "Never fear, sweet Jeff. I promise it will all work out for the best. Whatever happens, I will come back for you. Just you wait and see, my angel." Arms linked, they walked slowly back to where the pony and trap were tethered. Entwined as their hearts were, Jeff could not help but wonder what lay ahead. Drumming his fingers upon the rich rosewood desk, Geoffrey Parker was deep in thought. It wasn't an easy task by any means, and would need to be handled with protocol and skill. After all, his son's future was at risk, and must be protected at all costs. Jessica Flanagan needed to be told the way things were, and he would prefer it to be soon. Later this morning he was due to meet with Jonathan Baxter, the newly retired manager from the textile mill at Great Harwood. He was coming to see him sharp at 11 o'clock, and the two gentlemen had arranged to take luncheon at the Seven Stars Hotel. There were things to discuss, plans to make, and documents that needed his signature. Jonathan Baxter was a well-respected man in the textile world, and was one of the wealthiest men in the north of England. He had an offer to put forward to Geoffrey, which was worthy of his consideration. His son Joseph had been managing the mill at Great Harwood for over a month now. Many years before, when Geoffrey had first started out in business, he had very little money. Newly arrived from Liverpool, hoping to find employment away from the grime and poverty of the industrial north, Geoffrey had hardly a brass farthing to his name. Not long wed with a wife and small son to support, his sons were fast running out. Jonathan Baxter happened to be in Totnes on business, seeking to purchase another business. He had plans to venture into the fast expanding business of paper mills, and he had found just the right place. The two men had met by chance near the Seven Stars Hotel. Jonathan had noted the shabby suit and taken pity upon Geoffrey. The pair got into conversation, and he invited Geoffrey for a meal. He had helped him out financially, drawn up a legal partnership between them, so that each man legally had equal shares in the business. Later, when Geoffrey had begun to prosper, he purchased the paper mill in Dartington. It was his to run as he saw fit, but of course Jonathan still had an equal share in the place. As time progressed, Jonathan saw fit to bestow Geoffrey equal shares in J. Baxter's Textiles, the cotton mill at Great Harwood. Now it seemed he had other plans, and he had an interesting proposition to put forward, an opportunity that Geoffrey could scarcely turn down. It needed some discussing, of course, and his son Joseph would have to be agreeable to Jonathan Baxter's terms. There would be legal technicalities and documents to discuss, but the truth of the matter was, J. Baxter's Textiles would be signed over to his son Joseph. Geoffrey would still have equal shares in the paper mill, but his son Joseph would be owner of J. Baxter's Textiles, and upon his father's demise, he would inherit shares in the paper mill at Dartington. Jonathan Baxter planned to branch out in other directions, was indeed planning to retire to warmer climates and start up a business in the wine industry. He planned to employ other people to run the business, and of course all of the profits would go directly to him, thus increasing his wealth significantly.